Hello, Sarah and Kevin here down at Market Wines. We're getting ready for the weekend and it's back to school this week, so everybody's super busy and getting back into routine and probably pretty thirsty.
So what's your idea? Back to school Burgundy? Is that what we're doing this weekend?
Back to school Burgundy. I like the sounds of that.
It's a good idea. It's fun. Why not? We're sort of, summertime for us is a lot about, just drinking rosé, a lot of boxed wine this summer for us.
Canned wine.
Easy drinking stuff. We don't take wine too seriously ever, but certainly not in the summertime. So now we're back into the fall and things are getting a little cooler. So, I'm going to be cooking a little more kitchen time.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Burgundy's a good idea, and you got some great ones this week.
Thank you.
Yeah, Domaine Lejeune, one of our favorites, and for one really good reason.
Awesome value.
It's a great deal. Yeah. I mean, it's easy to love Burgundy, and certainly that's an area that we specialize in, and we're really lucky because we've got a lot of the best guys out there. But over the past, 10 years, we've really watched prices creep up in Burgundy. So a lot of those wines that I used to love and drink all the time, can't afford too many bottles anymore. They're kind of more special occasions now. So Lejeune is awesome because you can afford these wines. You can afford to drink them, on a Tuesday night.
And they're ready to drink.
Yeah.
These three are all ready to go. You don't have to wait. You don't have to put them in your cellar. They're showing really well.
So let's get into it. Start with the white, brand new one.
Yeah, we've never had the Bourgogne Blanc from Domaine Lejeune before. This is the first year that it arrived. So super excited when we get new wines in from Burgundy. Of course, it's Chardonnay, always as it comes from Burgundy.
What's this one go for, price-wise?
$32.95.
Smells like a little more. There's a lot in the glass here. So obviously, white Burgundy, it's all Chardonnay. So we're kind of competing now with some of those Napa or Sonoma examples. I guess more Sonoma now that Napa's pretty much all Cabernet these days. But we're looking at some of those California examples. And when you're in that 30-35 range, you're still in kind of the the mid-range in California.
Yeah, totally.
And I think this is a super competitive wine. I like the way this one has a little more minerality to it. It's still a big, rich style, but it's not overly oaky for me.
Yeah, it's got just enough. I think especially if you are looking for that more Sonoma Napa style Chardonnay, this would be a good one to reach for. Yeah, you do. And I'm like, ooh, thirsty for cab.
I love that. It's got a little more weight to it, a little more texture, a little more richness. So food wine, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking like some butter poached halibut.
Wow, so specific.
Well, it just came to mind.
Wow.
I must be hungry.
I would have said like fish. You're much better at this than I am. So great start. Love that. And that's brand new. So we've been working with Lejeune probably for about, I'd say 8 or 9 years at least.
Yeah, at least.
And we just had this guy forever because it was kind of our best-selling Pinot Noir in the shop for a lot of years, and for really good reasons. It's an awesome deal. And then we added these more recently. So the Pas du Grain was kind of a fun story. We never had a Pas du Grain in the shop before, and I always really liked the styles, but typically I only got to drink them when I was in France. So we tasted this at the winery, really enjoyed it, and then the winemaker was really confused when we asked if we could get an allocation because they really make this just for local drinking. So
nice.
They were confused as why we would want to import this wine. And I'm glad we pushed him because he didn't want to sell it to us originally, and he doesn't make very much. I think this is the wine kind of the family drinks on, a picnic, or they sell to their neighbors or friends. They don't make very much of it. But we talked him out of a few boxes. Not a lot. We sold out really quickly the first time. We just got a small reorder. So tell everyone what Pas du Grain is.
I love this wine. So Pas du Grain is a style coming from Burgundy, and it's
amazing.
Always at least 50% Pinot Noir, with the remainder being made up of Gamay Noir. So it is always a blend, but typically, like Kevin was saying, it's a peasant wine. It's produced for the table, for picnics. Yeah. It's ready to drink. It doesn't need time to age. And it's typically less expensive than we'll see our Bourgogne appellation wines.
What's this one?
$26.
Nice.
So to find Burgundy under $30 these days is impossible. And this wine drinks, it's so delicious. It's super crushable. And
it smells like Smiles. It's just so summery and it's just juicy. It's impossible not to laugh when you drink it. I just think
makes me happy.
When you put your nose in it, it just makes you it makes you happy. It's just got this inviting, really fun smell to it where you just you want to crush it though. I love this one. I can get specific on food here. This is my go-to wine for a roast chicken.
Oh, yeah.
You know when you do the roast chicken on the rotisserie with the potatoes underneath?
Oh, yeah.
greasy. And then you want something kind of lip smacking with that, you know, something to cut through all that chicken
high acid.
fat. This wine is perfect for that. It's also awesome if you're doing salmon too, right? Like a little barbecued salmon while the temperatures
Well, we
are
still can.
Yeah, this is amazing. I love it. Love the price. Super fun wine. It's nice to drink something you don't get all the time too, right? So if the staff haven't consumed all this by the weekend,
we're working on it.
We'll have a few bottles.
Yeah.
All right. Off to the Bourgogne Rouge.
Yeah. So he's located in and around Pomard, right?
Right. And that's where these grapes come from, right? So we're always looking for those, I call them off-Broadway wines, but just like you go to that kind of more expensive part of Burgundy, and then just on the other side of the fence, you know, you might have a vineyard that sits just outside the appellation, so they can't call this Pomard, but you could hit a wedge into this vineyard from Pomard, and yeah, maybe. I could shank one in there. So this is really just a couple of steps outside of Pomard. So they can't call it Pomard, but it still really is like a super high quality example of Pinot Noir. So Bourgogne Rouge could come from anywhere in Burgundy, right? Like they could come from way down in the south, and typically does. So while you might think it's expensive for just a basic labeled Bourgogne Rouge, it's actually what we like to say like a cheap Pomard, right? Because it's just like right there. And you get a lot of that character in this wine. I mean, it doesn't smell like inexpensive Pinot.
No, and it'd probably be twice the price if it was actually Pomard labeled.
Yeah, this is how much?
35.
And the Pomard from these guys goes for about 70. So there you go. It is about half the price.
Yeah, it's got a little bit more depth to it than the past two Grand. You can tell it's got a bit more structure and.
Yeah. I like these 17s. They're really like enjoyable young. I think 16 was more of a classic vintage, where 17 is just showing a little bit more of the sunshine, a little bit more of that ripe fruit, because these wines are so delicious right off the hop. What do you think of food-wise here?
Ooh.
You gotta have a good one now. I built you up.
Oh, I know. I've got chicken on the brain now, but
Always got chicken on the brain.
I think I would go with some lamb.
It could
Like
stand
lamb
up
chops
for
that. Like you wouldn't have to go full on braised.
There's some
leg,
power in this wine, eh? It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks like it's going to be light, but there's this like sappy like power that sort of comes back at the end. So, yeah, you could definitely stand up to lamb. You know, any kind of roasted pork dish, anything like that. If you got chicken on the brain, that works too. So great lineup. If you want to come down and taste some Burgundies.
Yeah.
What else do we going on next week, Sarah?
Well, next week, September 14th, is our sale day.
Oh,
so
all
it's
right.
our sort of leading into fall sale.
And what are we doing?
15% off all wine, 10% off beer and spirits, and then we've got a bunch of door crashers. So we have a large selection of wines that will be up to 25% off. Sky's the limit. Back up the truck.
All right. So sale day next week, and this week we got some Burgundy. You gotta love it. Hopefully we'll see you down there on the weekend.
Thanks.